40 Rules of Love, Part 56. Desert Rose, the Harlot, Konya, January 12, 46. Barricading me in since the disgrace I caused at the mosque. The patron doesn't let me go anywhere. I am grounded forever, but it doesn't upset me. The truth is, I haven't been feeling much of anything lately. Every morning, the face that greets me in the mirror looks paler. I don't comb my hair or pinch my cheeks to redden them anymore. The other girls constantly complain about my bad looks, saying that it keeps the customer away. They may be right, which is why I was quite surprised when the other day I was told that a particular client insisted on seeing me. To my horror, it turned out to be Babers. As soon as we were alone in the room, I asked, "What is a security guard like you doing here?" "Well, my coming to the brothel is no more bizarre than a harlot going to a mosque," he said, his voice heavy with insinuation. "I'm sure you would have loved to lynch me that day," I said. "I owe my life to Shams of the bridge." "Don't mention that revolting name. That guy is a heretic." "No, he's not." I don't know what comes over me, but I heard myself say, "Since that day Shams of the bridge has come to see me many times." "Huh? A dervish in a brothel?" Baber snorted. "Why am I not surprised?" "It's not like that," I said. "It's not like that at all." I had never told this to anyone else before, and I had no idea why I was telling Babers now. But Shams had been visiting me every week for the past several months. How he managed to sneak inside without being seen by the others, especially by the patron, was beyond my comprehension. Anyone else would assume that it was with the aid of black magic, but I knew it wasn't that. He was a good man, Shams, a man of faith, and he had special talents. Other than my mother, back in my childhood, Shams was the only person who treated me with unconditional compassion. He had taught me not to be despondent, no matter what. Whenever I told him there was no way someone like me could shade the past, he would remind me one of his rules. The past is an interpretation. The future is an illusion. The world does not move through times as if it were a straight line, proceeding from the past to the future. Instead, time moves through and within us in endless spirals. Eternity does not mean infinite time, but simply timeliness. If you want to experience eternal illumination, put the past and the future out of your mind and remain within the present moment. Shams always told me, "You see, the present moment is all there is, and all that there ever will be. Even you grasp this truth, you will have nothing to fear anymore. Then you can walk out of this brothel for good." Babers was watching my face carefully. When he looked at me, his right eye looked off to the side. It felt as if there were another person in the room with us, someone I couldn't see. He scared me. Realizing that it would be best not to talk about Shams anymore, I served him a pitcher of beer, which he drank in a hurry. "So what is your specialty?" Baber asked after he guzzled his second beer. "Don't you girls each have a talent? Can you belly dance?" I told him I didn't have such talents, and whatever gift I had in the past was gone now, as I was suffering from an unknown illness. The boss would have killed me if she heard me say such things to a client, but I didn't care. The truth is, I secretly hoped Weber would spend the night with another girl. But to my disappointment, Weber shrugged and said he didn't care. Then he took out his pouch, spilled a reddish-brown substance from it into his palm, and popped it into his mouth, chewing slowly. "Do you want some?" he asked. I shook my head. I knew what it was. "You don't know what you are missing." He grinned as he reclined on the bed, drifting away from his body into a stupor of cannabis. That evening, high on beer and cannabis, Babers bragged about the terrible things he had seen on the battlefields. Even though Genghis Khan was dead and his flesh decomposed, his ghost still accompanied the Mongol armies. Babers said, egged on by the ghost, the Mongol army was attacking caravans, plundering villagers, and massacring women and men alike. He told me about the veil of silence, as soft and peaceful as a blanket on a cold winter night, that descended upon a battlefield after hundreds had been killed and wounded, and dozens more were about to give up their last breath. The silence that follows a massive disaster is the most peaceful sound you can hear on the surface of the world, he said, his voice lowering. "It sounds so sad," I murmured. Suddenly, he had no more words inside him. There was nothing else to talk about. Grabbing my arms, he pushed me onto the bed and pulled off my robe. His eyes were bloodshot, his voice hoarse, and his smell was a repugnant mixture of cannabis, sweat, and hunger. He entered me in one harsh, abrasive thrust. I tried to move aside and relax my thighs to lessen the pain, but he pressed both hands on my bosom with such force that it was impossible to budge. He kept rocking back and forth even long after he came inside me, like a string puppet that was manipulated by unseen hands and could not possibly stop. Clearly dissatisfied, he kept moving with such roughness that I feared he was going to get hurt again. But then suddenly, it all came to an end. Still on top of me, he looked at my face with pure hatred, as if the body that had aroused him a moment ago now disgusted him. "Put something on," he ordered as he rolled aside. I put on my robe, watching out of the corner of my eyes as he popped more cannabis into his mouth. "From now on, I want you to be my mistress," he said with his jaw jutting out. It wasn't all that uncommon for clients to come up with such demands. I knew how to handle this delicate situation, giving the client the false impression that I would love to be in his mistress and serve solely him. But for that to happen, he had to spend a lot of money and make the patron happy first. But today I didn't feel like pretending. "I can't be your mistress," I said. "I am going to leave this place very soon." Babers guffawed, as if this were the funniest thing he had ever heard. "You can't do that," he said with certainty. I knew I shouldn't be quarreling with him, but I couldn't help it. You and I are not that different. We both have done things that we deeply regret, but you have been made a security guard thanks to your uncle's position. I have no uncle backing me, you see." Baber's face became wooden, and his eyes, cold and distant up till now, suddenly widened with fury. Dashing forward, he grabbed me by the hair. "I was nice to you, wasn't I?" he growled. "Who do you think you are?" I opened my mouth to say something, but a sharp stab of pain silenced me. Babers punched me in the face and pushed me against the wall. It wasn't the first time I had been beaten by clients before, but never this badly. I fell on the floor, and then Babers started to kick me hard in the ribs and legs while hurling inside at me. It was then and there that I had the strangest experience. As I cringed in pain, my body crushed under the weight of each blow. My soul, or what felt it like, separated from my body, turning itself into a kite, light and free. Soon I was floating in the ether, as if thrown into a peaceful vacuum, where there was nothing to resist and nowhere to go. I simply hovered. I passed over recently harvested wheat fields, where the wind fluttered the head scarves of peasant girls, and at night fireflies glinted here and there like a fairy lights. It felt like falling, except falling upward into the bottomless sky. Was I dying? If this was what death is like, I wasn't terrifying at all. My worries diminished. I had tumbled into a place of absolute lightness and purity, a magic zone where nothing could pull me down. And suddenly I realized I was facing my worst dread, and to my surprise, it wasn't frightful. Wasn't it because of the fear of being harmed that I had been scared to leave the brothel all this time? If I could manage not to be scared of death, I realized with an expanding heart, I could leave this rat hole. Shams of the bridge was right. The only filth was the filth inside. I shut my eyes and imagined this other me, pristine and penitent and looking much younger, walking out of the brothel and into a new life, glowing with my youth and confidence. This was what my face would have looked like if only I would experience security and love in my life. The vision was so alluring and so real, despite the blood before my eyes and the throbbing in my ribs, that I couldn't help smiling.